What I wrote in my social application essay was that I wrote about how when I was little, we were rewarded with staying up late on Sunday nights to watch the X-Files. Watching David Duchovny as Agent Fox Mulder is what got me into, crime and like helping people, because even though he had a gun and a badge, he really just solved people's problems.
You really get to see every point of view once you're in sociology classes. Growing up in Fresno, you get stuck in your community, you get stuck in your mindset of thinking things are only one way.
One of the things I appreciate about sociology is that we're able to talk about how race and ethnicity affects one's understanding of one's identity.
When I came into the Soc program, I was really at a point in my life where I was trying to identify myself and trying to come to terms with who I was as a person. So I was really looking for boxes. As I learned more about what sexuality is and what gender is and what disability is, I thought maybe those boxes weren't enough anymore. Maybe those didn't encompass the whole of my experience, and Soc was right there immediately to help me take those boxes apart.
The Soc class that influenced me the most, I would still probably say Pepper Schwartz's class, Soc Family. She talked about divorce rates and how to keep families together and, just all different types of things, bisexual relationships. And for some people that's uncomfortable, but, it's cool to learn the world and how it works and how relationships work.
Well, I think like most professors, I want to encourage critical thinking. I think we all feel that way. We'll give you data, we'll give you our take on it, but I think students think that we don't like them to disagree with us, but we do. We want them to think about it.
I'm going into computational biology. That's definitely moving in an area of having more and more and more dimensions to the data, and then coming up with, okay, well, how do we make sense of this? And to be honest, I think I've picked up 90% of that through sociology.
I think most of our majors come to sociology partly because they're inspired by an outlook that emphasizes consequences or effects kind of beyond the individual. So, externalities, whatever you might call them.
I felt like every day there was just something new for me to be angry about. We were always learning about kind of labor rights and then sex trafficking and then racism, and I just was like, how did I not know about all of this? Every single day I would call my mom and be like, Mom, why aren't we doing something? Come on! And just so passionate and motivated. And
Unfortunately, what we study in sociology, a lot of times it focuses on racial and class disproportionality. So when we see charts, overwhelmingly, we're going to see, African Americans that are disproportionately affected in some way. My aim is not to reify these statistics and for you to stereotype or further stigmatize people of color in negative ways, but for you to critically think about why.
I've taken Alexa's classes, both of her classes, and her juvenile justice class literally made me want to work with juvenile justice. I mean, to think about that, in 10 weeks' time, your complete career path changes in one class.
Some instructors that really made a difference for me, Pitchford, I took 3 classes from her and became very close to her, I think, over these past few years. Stovall, Wender was that was a fantastic class. Crutchfield, which is interesting because when I was taking deviance from him, I found out my mother had actually taken criminology from him back when she was a student here.
I think the most influential Soc class I took was Kaiser's theory class. He's got that whole badass complex kind of thing, walking with the jeans, leather jacket. What's that guy's name, like Fonzie or something? It kind of reminds me of him.
What gets me most excited is new ideas. Whether it's, I don't go in with a kind of fully written out lecture. So every now and then when I'm just kind of going off on things, I come up with something new myself. Even more exciting though is when the students come up with something new. When we're doing a kind of question and answer session and somebody says something that's new and interesting. That's always exciting.
I've really just enjoyed the people that are in the Soc department. You can go up to them and talk to them and ask them for ask them for help with anything, and they're just excited to talk to you, be like, okay, cool. You want to go do this. I like this idea. Let me help you in any way possible. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Thanks.
Jonathan Wender always talked about exoticizing the familiar.
Exoticize the familiar, where you look at social norms and you look at social customs and
you just take a step back and you think, like, why is that a social custom? Why is it that we do this thing that everyone accepts so readily?
I want them to think of sociology as an intrinsic part of their lives. I want them to think of sociology as a living, breathing part of who they were before they came to the University of Washington, and it's something that will be a living, breathing part of them as they go on to the future.
I think my aha moment has actually been over last quarter and this quarter during my internship with HUD. I've discovered an area that I really do care about a lot, which is fair housing rights and civil rights, and protecting those rights, how important those really are. I had a case, this woman called in and she had been harassed for the last year by her landlord, even though she'd lived at this place for 8 years. She had terminal lung cancer and her daughter had lung health problems as well and needed oxygen tanks. So the landlord, for some reason, decided she needed to harass them. You know, she told me, you know, I probably won't be here next year, but I need somewhere for my daughter to live and I don't want her to be out on the street, and I just don't understand why people are doing this to me. It was really heart-wrenching, but it really made me realize how important it was having a place that people could turn to.
I was able to find out that my skills that I acquired through my sociology major are very applicable and very valuable in the workforce. It's kind of nice knowing that, you know, there are disparities and inequalities out there in our society, and I'm doing, I guess, a small part, or my individual part, of trying to like lessen those inequalities and to rectify it.
I hope they come away with some sense that they're empowered to do things, that they have agency. There are also lots of ways in which people can enact and act to change institutions.
I'm just so glad, because now I love UW and I'm really proud to be a Husky.
I just wanted to thank you all for your love and your support.
And thanks to my mom and dad.
Thanks Mom, Dad, friends and family for supporting me so much.
Mom, Dad, to Dana, thanks for all the patience.
First off, thank you to my parents. And secondly, big thank you to the professors.
Thanks to my parents and my family for supporting me.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for your support. I really appreciate it.
Your support has meant everything over the past few years.
I guess just a thank you to my pa for letting me stay up late to watch the X-Files and for watching every crime show on TV with me.
Thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout these past 4 years.
I would like to thank all of you guys that have helped me out. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I love you.
Thanks, and I love you, Mom and Dad.
Hey Mom, hey Auntie, hey Dad upstairs. I made it.